say Shy City, Shy City, Shy City.
I'm coming home again. Do you think about me now and then?
Yeah.
Do you think about me now and then? 'Cause I'm coming home again. Home again.
You're tuned in live to another episode of SophistiRatchet Radio with your host, Dafena, aka the Black Widow, and my special co-host today, Justin Morgan.
Hey guys, what's up?
So we have a pretty dope show for you guys today. Justin is definitely going to keep the energy, you know what I'm saying, pumping as if I already don't. But we'll be talking about a few topics today, a few events that he has going on in Chicago this upcoming weekend, one of them being tomorrow with Marsha Ambrosia. We'll
Ambrosius.
Ambrosius.
It's all right.
Correction.
It's all right. Put some respect on her name.
Respect. Sorry. Don't kill me. I love you and your music. But we will be discussing, you know, issues facing, you know, the youth right now in Chicago and on a national level, the top 10 things that they really face, you know, in this new millennium era. Or millennium era. And we'll also be discussing, I have a guest coming in today, Mr. William Moorehead, who is an author and a performing artist. So he'll be dropping some information and some nuggets about his new book that will be released this upcoming new year.
Is he an adult film star? His name is what?
William Moorehead. No pun intended.
We could all use more last name.
Indeed.
Right.
So he'll be discussing his new book. It's a children's book, Fire and Water. He will also be dropping some poetry for you guys, for those individuals who like the spoken word. And we will definitely be discussing, you know, the Chicago social scene and, you know, some of the issues that we face and, you know, really just coming together as one. So with no further ado, we're going to hop into some music and we'll hear a little bit from our sponsors. And then when we come back, we'll keep you guys rocking and rolling. You're tuned in live to SophistiRatchet Radio with your host today, Dafena, aka the Black Widow, and
Captain America.
No.
No, Black Panther.
No.
Yes.
We're going to try this one more time.
Black Widow. For all my nerds, they know what it is. She's an Avenger, and I'm the other cool Avenger, Black Panther.
AKA J-Morg.
J-Morg. I hate that. My name is Justin Jonathan Morgan.
You didn't have to get the full government.
I mean, that's just what I go by. Other people start calling me J-Morg. Shout out to Mike B. He's the one who gave me that terrible name.
Shout out to everyone who's tuned in via Facebook Live. We rock with you. Thank you for tuning in every Thursday.
Yes.
All right, so J-Morg, we're going to hop into your interview. For those individuals who don't know who you are, let us know everything about J-Morg that is, you know, the inside scoop, the 411, something longer than the 30-second elevator speech.
I'm definitely going to get you a 30-second.
I don't want 30 seconds.
Bruh. You know me, but everybody else don't. All right, I get it. And I hate talking about myself, but when I was a young lad, came out my mom's womb getting this money. You feel me?
I'm done already.
I got a brick, graduated to more bricks. But seriously, West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Okay.
On a playground is where I spend most of my days. Chilling out. Relaxing and maxing all cool,
bro,
while shooting some basketball outside of the pool or whatever you say. But anyway, all right.
No pools in Philly, but
February,
for the Fresh Prince.
Whatever.
Your Black Card has been revoked.
February 27, 1986 at 3:15 a.m. I fell out of my mom's box, right? Ever since then, I've been on a chase. But I'm a normal person and I like to do normal things. I just so happen to hustle my way into the music industry, doing marketing, doing event coordination and execution and all kind of shit like that. And then, excuse the S word, I parlayed.
He's trying to get me fired, guys. It's okay.
I parlayed that into creating my own business that is now 4 years old. I offer various services, none that are sexual, for different corporations, artists, and whatnot. So, yeah.
So you're not an escort?
No, I'm not an escort. No, nobody can afford me. But if
there is no price on his peen. Sorry, ladies.
Hey, You know, you're gonna need a big credit card.
It's priceless.
That's all I'm gonna say.
No black cards.
I take EBT as well.
No black cards. He'll probably be the one sliding, credit cards through through the butt cheeks. So can we get a tip, girl?
Not me.
So let everyone know you are the CEO of J-Morg Entertainment. Let them know.
Oh yeah, so
so
J-Morg Entertainment. I was kind of like forced to start because I was like doing a lot of work with various artists and labels, doing marketing. I worked with Melanie Fiona very early, J. Cole, Lloyd Banks, you name it. Like anybody who was popping like 8 years ago, I pretty much was working with them. Did a lot of work with a bunch of R&B artists or whatever, Tyrese, Eric Benet, Marsha Ambrosius, bunch of all of that stuff. And since the whole wave is independence now, I'm able to be an independent contractor to execute, marketing strategies, fan to artists, things to, sell a product and do all kind of things like that. For instance, like tomorrow, I got Marsha Ambrosius in town to preview her brand new album, which is named after her beautiful daughter, Nyla.
Okay.
It's happening at the Promontory.
It's a big deal.
It's not yet. Jay-Z is a big deal. And I'm speaking that shit into existence right now. I will do an event with Jay-Z.
You just dropped the S-bomb again.
What?
Yes.
All right, I got 50 cents. All right, quarter per curse word. But that's it.
And my job.
Yeah. So
my job is worth 50 cents.
Yeah, but no, not to belittle Marsha though. That's my sister right there. But yeah, I want everything else. But Marsha Ambrosius live at the Promontory. We're gonna preview the album. And it's also a toy drive, and we're gonna donate all the toys to Little Angels Family Daycare. Shout out to Mrs. Adams. She's doing a lot of great work in Inglewood. She has 2 schools, and I used to volunteer for her there some years ago. And like, she is the epitome of a great person, and I want to be a blessing to her school and her kids to donate toys, using this event to give back. And then right after that is an after party of some sort that is going to be the ultimate battle of catalogs. And I get tired of arguing with people. First of all, I'm Team Jay-Z, period.
Okay.
End of story. I don't
know if you Team Jay-Z. I'm cutting you off only because on his birthday.
What I said, 444?
On his birthday,
what I do?
On December 4th, you put up a Facebook status that challenged a lot of his classic albums. Yeah.
So,
and I didn't feel like I felt disrespected because I am the most notorious Hope fan.
You see the shirt I got on. For people that can't see it,
he has on a Rockefeller Records shirt.
The original Rockefeller logo shirt. You can't get more loyal than me. Shout out to Mike B. Me and him are the ultimate, and I could critique him because
you got the ultimate side eye for me. Right?
Yeah, no, Black Album is not a classic, bro. It is not. That's a whole nother story. But the after party right after Marsha Ambrosius at the same venue at Promontory. You guys seen the memes on social media where they got 4 classic movies, 4 dope artists, 4 dope actors, actresses, and they say one got to go. I made an event out of it. We're doing Jay-Z, Drake, Kanye, Lil Wayne, all night. Music from all of them all night. It's going to be the ultimate battle of the catalogs. Who's really the best? Who has to go out of those 4?
All right, so you got Hov,
Jay-Z, Kanye West, Drake, Lil Wayne. Who has to go?
Oh God. Okay, so are we talking current or old music?
Period.
Why did you pick all 4 of them?
Period.
Okay, so we know Hov is safe.
Okay.
Period.
Mm-hmm. Kanye is safe.
Drake is safe.
What?
Drake is definitely safe. Kanye is safe in a sense where
Kanye is safe. Period. He's the other half of the throne. And you in Chicago.
I am, and I love Kanye. I love the old Kanye. But
listen,
Yeezus is cool too.
No, listen.
But he be out his body.
How many of those 4 artists have classic albums to you?
Okay, classic. All right, so classic
Undeniable.
would be undeniable. Would be Hov. It would be Kanye, and then it would be Wayne.
So Drake got to go.
Man, I don't want Drake to go, but out of the classic albums, because you know what I'm saying, all the Carters,
And the mixtapes.
all the Carters and the mixtape, no selling.
No selling. So.
No selling.
People, me and Mike B, and I hate to keep shouting this Mog out, but we was having this conversation literally last night about how people forgot about Wayne and his run and how epic it was.
He's still epic.
He is.
Even though, you know what I'm saying, he kind of edged over to the other side with The Rock and all that other stuff.
I mean,
hey, you know, this industry is about making money. So if he's made enough music for the hip hop heads and the rap heads, and you know, he made that Rockstar album.
mm-hmm.
And a lot of his music, I mean, he's even hopped kind of on the pop side, kind of like what Nicki does. You gotta have some versatility, but never forget where you came from. He's still an original hot boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's a legend. I'd say Drake has to go because.
Oh, okay. Drake has to go
personal
because
reasons.
What are personal reasons?
I ain't gonna get into that. But fuck it, forget it. I'm gonna do it. Me and my man's Mike B went to look. We be up on all the up and coming artists, right?
Okay.
And we effed with Drake. We love Comeback Season. He loves So Far Gone.
So Far Gone is the
overrated.
most epic mixtape that Drake has ever dropped.
Overrated.
It is definitely not overrated.
Nonetheless, he was
November
coming.
18th?
He was coming.
The Calm.
He was what?
November
November
18th. The Calm. Like, I'm dropping tracks off of this mixtape.
I'm good. Give me
Uptown.
Say What's Real and cut
Say
the
What's
deck.
Real.
Cut the deck after that.
Fear. He don't want to do this.
The joint with
He don't want to do this with me right now.
What was the something in the studio? What Marion? That was fire.
No, that wasn't with Amarion. It was with Lloyd.
Okay. R&B niggas.
That entire
Best I Ever
mixtape
Had
was
hit
off the
record,
chain.
successful hit record. Cut the deck after that. 3 hot songs. But on some real stuff, no, like me and my mans was like fans of his come up, right? Right before Thank Me Later came out, we were still interning at GCI.
Okay.
So we get word that Drake coming through.
Shout out iHeart.
Yeah, Drake's coming through. We never buy CDs. We went to Best Buy to buy a CD.
We burned him.
Yeah, no, we went and bought this Mog CD at Best Buy downtown. So
Drake. You bought
yes.
Drake's CD. Okay.
Yeah, bought Drake's album. He was here the day his album came out. Mog came to the studio, came to GCI, went upstairs or whatever, didn't take pictures with us. But he signed our CD books.
That's fine.
Now listen.
Hey, listen, you can't ask for an inch and then want a foot.
Listen, bro.
Like, get it together, shorty.
Listen, bro.
Nah, bro.
That says a lot about your character. Most of which, I've met everybody you could ever think of in life. Almost. Like, everybody.
Ain't that Sade yet.
Well, no. I know your favorite song, though.
What is it?
Sweetest Taboo.
It is.
Right. I was just guessing. But anyway, I saw you post that like 10 years ago. But anyway, it was so odd to me. I'm like, that's a great song, but I don't know if that's like my favorite song ever.
It's not like my favorite song of all. Well, I mean, it's kind of a close runner-up with.
That's a weed smoker song.
No. Sweetest Taboo? Sweetest Taboo is not a weed smoker song. And I advocate the legalization of marijuana in the state of Illinois. So for all those legislators, next month we're meeting in Springfield.
This is what you should do.
I advocate for you guys to legalize marijuana in the state of Illinois. 1, to stimulate our economy. And 2,
do you own a dispensary?
I don't, but who's to say that I can't invest in one?
I know. So you can hold off on that. I know you're an advocate and all of that, but I don't sell weed anymore. No, I don't sell weed anymore.
Do not self-incriminate. There will be no self-incrimination on my show.
I don't know. Anyway,
it is not a weed smoking song. It is a love song. A weed smoking song will be anything that Wiz Khalifa creates.
And
that would be weed smoking.
And Snoop.
Shout out to Talia, Claudine, and Joshua. Those your people?
Yeah, that's my sister. Hey, Talia.
Hey, y'all.
Claudine's my aunt. Who's Josh? Hey, Josh.
Thank you.
What's
Facebook
up,
Live.
buddy? Thanks to all three of you. Call your friends. Share this video.
Share the video, guys.
And we're gonna shoot some dice in a minute.
I'm not.
I got some Henny in the car.
I'm all for the Henny.
Okay. But anyway, Drake was trash for that. And then I just had this personal vendetta against him. But
you have a personal vendetta against Drake.
But outside of that, music is cool. The music that he writes is good. We just don't know what he writes. So I can't give him
What
credit.
do you mean? So Drake says he doesn't make or write music for dudes that don't get you dig. So you don't know that verse?
But I do.
Right.
That was one of his best rapping songs of recent memory. She's quoting Lord Knows.
Lord Knows.
And that lyric does not apply to me. It's the complete opposite.
Well, just know that he doesn't make music for lame dudes.
Listen.
So, for everyone who's trying to come at Drake kid.
No. I don't even know who wrote that line.
He wrote it.
How do you know? Just because he said it don't mean he wrote it.
Okay.
But that's another story. But anyway.
But his pockets are deeper than both of ours.
Yeah.
By far.
For now.
For now.
Because you definitely go be a millionaire.
I am.
And I'll meet you there. Well, you meet me there. Whatever. But anyway, no, but seriously, back to the event. The event is going to be a fun, interactive thing where, people who are fans of each of these amazing artists will be able to come and enjoy their catalogs, and pretty much like it's going to be a fun yet segregated event because we're going to give something away to the group with the biggest fans. So fans of Jay, fans of Ye, fans of Drake, Lil Wayne. Make sure you guys come out in droves. That's a college word, droves.
Droves.
Repeat that, don't you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So go ahead.
This event. Where's it located? What time does it start? Have the tickets sold out? Where can people get tickets?
All right. So at the Promontory, the Marsha Ambrosius, the sold out. Marsha Ambrosius listening party is at the Promontory from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Right after that, we're going to clear it out, and One Gotta Go has to start.
Okay.
Right after, same venue, same room, same everything.
So you're going until 2 a.m.?
Yes. And, depending on how the night go, I might keep them open, I mean, when J-Morg Entertainment do some stuff.
But don't they have a liquor license that they have to worry about, sir?
I am the liquor license.
This guy thinks that he's above the law. He thinks that he's above.
I am the law. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, so all BS aside, these two amazing events will be fantastic. The toy drive is going to be great. Yeah, I'm excited to see all you guys out tomorrow. And then Tuesday, I hate to sound like I'm promoting too much. I usually do one event a year, and God see if it. God. Well, Crown is. I'm saying
that's a major event, but you're usually involved in multiple things. Yeah, the Crown party is pretty dope. This is by far probably been the dopest.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But outside of that, I do other things with other corporations and other clients and whatnot. I'm very blessed. But as far as my own events, I only do usually one a year. But this year has been quite different. I've been pretty busy. So
he's been trying to work towards that millionaire status. He's trying. I mean, you're like a walking oxymoron. It's like you're cocky, but you're modest. And I just I'm trying to get it.
I'm humble. I'm humble by nature. Like, I'm a very humble guy. I'm not arrogant at all. Like, who's arrogant? Like,
okay,
I know you ain't talking.
Who's arrogant?
No, we confident.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
of course I am.
There's a very fine line, though.
Very fine line between confidence and cockiness and arrogance.
Yeah, I don't like talking about myself, so I can never be cocky.
I have no sympathy for those individuals who are intimidated by individuals that are confident. Sorry. So was that an arrogant comment? I don't know, but if you can't handle, the confidence, then one gotta go.
Get your weight out.
Get your weight out.
Segue, right.
One gotta go.
But last plug though, Tuesday, and hopefully a lot of unsigned artists is listening to this telecast right now. Well, telecast.
Shut up, Drew. I saw your comment. Nah, she arrogant. Lies.
Drew, what up? Hey, Drew, what's up, buddy? Yo, he got the.
That was a corny. That was a corny like.
Oh, that's my guy.
Okay, I know who you.
Drew, that's my guy.
I know Drew.
Hey, I'm gonna have you record my voicemail. I ain't had a voicemail since the 90s, but I'm gonna have say some dope stuff on that. So I'm gonna shoot you a text, my brother. But anyway,
back to Tuesday. Going up on a Tuesday.
December 19th. Myself and Mark Hubbard, who's the president of the Recording Academy, and a few other amazing individuals are putting on this quarterly event to showcase the best unsigned artists in the city, period.
Okay.
So this past November 19th, while I was hungover after Crown that happened the night before, we had
I think
auditions.
I was hungover the next day too.
Yeah. We got it in, bro.
We definitely got it in.
But anyway,
back to business.
All right, so we had auditions for this event that's happening December 19th, and it's called Next Showcase.
Okay.
We definitely try our best to put the word out to get the best people into the audition so we can choose who performs. So they will perform before quite a few people, one of which is Andrew from Fake Shore Drive.
Okay.
We got Jay Cohen from On the Grind Management, Phil Thornton, who's a Sony Music record exec.
Okay, Phil.
We got TV and film producer Tyra Martin. Kyle Santillian from WGCI will be there. Kyle. Yeah, that's my brother right there. And it's going to be an amazing event for people to who are unsigned and unknown to get noticed by some legitimate music people. And Boy Illinois is going to perform.
He's dope. I saw him perform in Indianapolis.
Yeah, he's dope.
Amazing.
Yeah, we got a Grammy-nominated artist, Jonathan McReynolds.
He does gospel. I know him.
Yes,
and,
yes.
He may be a member of my church. Shout out to
So long story short, it's official tissue, and everybody should be there. It's at Wire in Berwyn, and you could get the tickets on wireismusic.com. And general admission is only $10. We're doing a VIP thing for $25. You get some food, some drinks, all that stuff, and it's for people who are music enthusiasts, people who really recognize talent, and we're not gonna have no disrespect, no dread-headed turn-up mumble rap trash.
No mumble rap.
No, like
no Chief Keef lovers, but shout out Chief Keef because I love you.
That's the ratchet side.
Indeed.
But yeah, this is going to be a great time. Make sure you go on wireismusic.com to get your tickets. They're only $10. If you wait last minute and get to the door, it's going to be like $15, something like that. But it is this Tuesday at 7:00
at Wire.
Yeah, at Wire in Berwyn. And it's going to be a fantastic time, and that's going to be the only thing that I plug. But yeah, 7:00. And Dafena knows, like, I don't attach myself to things unless they are like, legit. Yeah, legit. And this is super legit. And a lot of people don't know about it because, and I'm jumping ahead in our subjects as far as the social scene in Chicago and how.
Hold that thought. Because we're going to take a commercial break and a music break. And then when we come back, we will definitely talk about Chicago and the social scene. Because, I think that's something that, we definitely need to address.
All right. And we're going to premiere my song later on in the show, too.
We're going to premiere a song?
Yeah.
I had no idea about a song premiere. So you guys are just as surprised as I am right now.
It's called Yabba Dabba Doo by
God.
the Migos.
You guys are tuned in to SophistiRatchet Radio with your host, Dafena, a.k.a. the Black Widow, and my special guest co-host today, J-Morg.
Black Panther.
The Black Panther.
Yes.
I can't deal.
Yes.
We're going to hop into some music, and when we come back,
Pause.
We're going to hop into some music. And when I come back, we'll definitely be talking about, the social scene in Chicago and, really the interactions between the young minorities in the scene and how we can really start working more together opposed to being against each other. So
last thing before you go, can we stop saying the word millennial?
no.
Okay.
Like,
I'm over that word.
but you're a millennial though.
I'm Justin Morgan.
And you are categorized in the millennial.
Who categorized it?
Your age.
But who came up with these millennials from this age to this age? Was it somebody black?
I don't know.
Okay, if it was somebody black, I'd be millennial.
That was like such a biased comment.
I mean, go to break. Cause y'all, you think you're gonna get fired from a couple S words? You don't want to hear my real thoughts on this subject.
All right, back to the music. We will holler at you guys when we come back. You're tuned in live to SophistiRatchet Radio with Dafena, aka the Black Widow, and my special co-host today.
Yeah, Captain Underpants.
Oh God, like he has really butchered this for the last 40 minutes. J-Morg in the building. I'm
Justin.
like, he's about to get kicked out of my studio.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
So before the music and the commercial break, we were about to hop into one of our topics of discussion today, which is
the Chicago social scene.
okay.
How do you feel about it as
Okay,
a millennial?
Well, outside being a millennial, how do I feel about the Chicago social scene? What I will say is that I've partied out of the country and in all of the major cities across the U.S. I partied in New York. I partied in L.A. and Miami, Vegas. And what I can say about Chicago is that we're some haters here. Like we just really don't.
Outside of, not to cut you off, not like outside of the party scene, just like
In general,
here,
socially,
yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of events that you can go to in Chicago, but not all of them are really. A lot of individuals in Chicago, I feel, are all for like self-promotion opposed to like uplifting. If you know something, if you're really great at something, why not show the next person how to become great at it? Or why not bring that person into your circle to, get exposed? Like, it's all about exposure, especially when you're an entrepreneur. So why not bring them in and show them how to be, a master of whatever this trade is that you might be focused on? Or
I think there's a form of insecurity, back to our combo in the car on the way here. People wanting to be the only one with that information. You know what I'm saying? So they look better because they scared if they give the information up, somebody might do it better than them. You know what I'm saying? So I think
you want to work with people that are better than you, though, because
That's
then
true.
they make your brand better. Like, when someone owns a company, you want to hire people that are smarter than you, that are more tactful than you, that have more innovative ideas than you, because no matter what, it's your brand. So your name will always be at the top. You don't have to worry about someone coming for your job if you're the know-all be-all of that company or the know-all be-all of that brand. But you want individuals who are going to push your brand up and make it better. So the whole idea behind being afraid that someone's going to come for your job, if you had confidence, which we talked about earlier, if you were securing yourself, you would never have to worry about that because you will always be thinking 3 or 4 steps ahead of the person that is smarter than you.
Right, but people don't think ahead like that. And to answer my question to you, I think there needs to be more collaborations, like genuine, like collaborations with people, and just how I am with you, like, or just anybody, like.
Who are you? Just,
you open yourself up for that, Dafena.
we're gonna remove that question.
You dirty birdie.
Dang.
Anyway, Black
Right.
Widow. That was the ratchet side of the show. Let me stay sophisticated on
We
this
haven't
side.
got ratchet yet.
Make
Sir.
sure I'm going when you ratchet. Anyway,
He like my ratchet side. That's probably why he's my friend.
I do not. Anybody that knows me know that I'm anti-ratchet. But anyway,
Get your gang.
I can feel the headache entering my head. Unless it's Jeezy, like that's the only ratchet I have for it. But anyway, people are, if you're listening, just wake up in the morning, be your best self, and share that with the world. You know what I'm saying? If you have any shortcomings in life or any issues that you need help on, it's not our fault. Don't take it out on us. You know what I'm saying? There needs to be more good people in this world. And that's my only message.
More good people in the world.
Right.
I feel like I just want to dive more, though, into the social scene in Chicago. Not even necessarily the party scene, but I mean, in reference to events, when people host events, I just really think that, you know, for those individuals who are listening in, whether you're on the TuneIn Radio app or the Windy City Underground website, or if you're watching via Facebook Live, and shout out to everyone who's commented on the video and who's watching via Facebook Live.
Hey, guys.
When it comes down to the scene in Chicago, I just really feel like a lot of individuals who are fighting to get that exposure that they want, whether they're music artists or whether they're poets or whether they're entrepreneurs, I just feel like everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of individuals in Chicago who do or might have a little bit of weight under their belt, you know, sometimes are just not welcoming to new ideas and not welcoming to new artists, and really are not trying to help elevate their fellow brother or their fellow sister. And I think that that's a big deal in Chicago. And it's like you go to other cities and you just see how everyone
Atlanta.
collaborates. Oh my God, Atlanta.
Jesus.
Like, you can walk anywhere in Atlanta and someone is looking to help you do anything.
Right.
And I mean, like, I hate to call it the Black Utopia, but I feel like everyone thinks that Atlanta is the Black Utopia. I personally don't want to move there, but it is a beautiful city.
Right.
And, you know, the collaboration amongst artists or collaboration amongst, you know, whether it's minorities or any other group, you know, they stick together, they band together, and they fight for what they want. And I just really feel like in Chicago, we're so focused on what everybody thinks about us opposed to what we can do to uplift and build each other up. And I think that's
a lot of minds being fake Hollywood. How you gonna be fake Hollywood in Chicago, bro? Really? Stop it.
Like, what I can say about Chicago, though, because I love my city.
We're the originators.
I can say that we're the most thoroughbred. And if you can survive in Chicago, you can survive anywhere.
This is true.
So, you know, never to downplay anything. You know,
You just got to do better, Chicago.
You have to do better.
We got to do better.
We do have to do better collectively as a whole.
Except me, I'm perfect.
Lies. This guy from Chicago rocking the Rockefeller shirt. But I
got on Jordans, though.
Didn't I say earlier that this guy is a walking oxymoron? Like, walking oxymoron.
Simplistically complicated. That's my new radio show. Not SophistiRatchet. Simplistically complicated.
Simplistically complicated.
Yeah, but I totally agree with you on that. Hopefully more people like ourselves get in power, we can change the narrative. I mean, I know I go out of my way to help people as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never look for things in return. You know what I'm saying? So I try my best to help anybody as much as I can. Like, you know, hopefully y'all reach back and throw me a meal. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, well, that's why you're a co-host today. This show, SophistiRatchet Radio, the mission really of this internet radio station, and my objective of what I'm looking to do is to, you know, educate those individuals who come from marginalized and underprivileged communities on business, on money, on real estate, on community outreach and empowering our community and what we can do to work together to really become more educated on financial literacy.
You the queen of that.
I am the queen. I want us to be in a different mindset, you know, get out of that mindset that
Gucci belts,
the waiting outside to get the Jordans, the purchasing of $1,000 iPhone, and you can't pay $30 a month to put life insurance in place, but then that individual who dies because he got shot for having a iPhone 10, his family has to go and contact, you know, other family members and put up a GoFundMe post to bury this individual. I just want individuals to get out of that mindset of being in, I have to look good for the next person. How about
they don't care about you?
How about behind the scenes, you get your savings account in place, you get your life insurance in place, you get your financial house in order, and then You know, you don't have to worry about validation from other individuals. The only validation you should ever have to worry about is if you have children from your children. If you don't have children and you're single, the only validation you really have to worry about is yourself.
This is true.
Why?
But we aren't taught that. That's what 444 was about.
I was speaking this before 444 dropped.
I know, but it usually you need help. Like the first always is the sacrificial lamb. I know I just butchered that. But anybody who's first at doing anything is going to have an uphill battle until someone else comes along and does it. And they're like, oh, Jay-Z was doing that. You saw when 444 came out.
Oh my God. People were so like.
Let's go back to that post that you mentioned.
Which post?
About Hove and me critiquing that.
Go find that Facebook status. I want you to read it verbatim because I was pissed and I don't know if I liked it or disliked it.
You can dislike on Facebook?
You can be angry.
Really?
They give you the angry emotion.
You know, as many I was gonna say emblems, emojis that I got on there, nobody disagreed.
Semantics.
That's another college word. All right.
Semantics. Read this post so I can let you know why I was upset. Did you find it?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Brace yourself.
And I quote, since it's #Hove Day, let's set the record straight. The Black Album is not a classic.
Don't laugh. Don't laugh. I want you to read this, sir. Like, go ahead. So I can butcher you in this studio.
The Black Album is not a classic. American Gangster is a classic.
American Gangster is a classic.
444 #444 is not a classic. Nowhere near it. Listening to that song with Frank Ocean is like drinking warm beer. Shaking my head. The title track is probably the best beat of 2017, and he underperformed on it. Next one. 03 Bonnie and Clyde almost single-handedly destroyed his career. I think that's the most truest statement in this whole post, and I'm almost done.
03 Bonnie and Clyde. You got to think about
trash.
It's always winning because the money is constantly flowing. Because guess what? 03 Bonnie and Clyde was with who?
Trash.
So you're not losing.
All right, let me finish this real quick.
Okay. You're talking lyrically, yes.
In My Lifetime, Volume 1 was not whack.
I wanted to strangle you for talking about anything that had to do with
Volume
the life and time
of
Carter.
Volume 3 is his worst album ever.
Someone get this guy out of my studio right now.
We got 3 more. Jay-Z should perform When It's Hot. When It's Hot is Hot off that album. Show close Jake to the 8Y over. That's my joint.
The intro to that album was off the chain.
It was cool. I liked it.
Oh my God, you're so.
Last 2. Kanye washed Hove on Otis. You hear that, Mike? Listen to that.
There's been 2 songs that Cole have been washed on. I will say okay to Otis, but I will also say Renegade. No, not Run This Town. Renegade.
Ye murdered Jay on Run This Town.
No.
It's crazy how you could go from being Joe Blow.
Renegade.
Y'all wasn't saying that until Nas said it. Anyway, last one. Kingdom Come is really bad, but had some great. Seriously, last one. Kingdom Come was really bad, but it had some great songs on it. And that's it. Those are my hot takes, but they were all true because I said it. So
how could you not mention, if you're a real Hove fan, how could you not at least put reasonable doubt in a post and say that was classic?
Well,
how could you not put reasonable doubt in that post?
This post was geared towards the biggest misconceptions on Hove-ism. A lot of people trash Volume 1, but if you go back and listen to it, outside of Will You Be My Sunshine, the album was pretty solid. Pause. It had Where I'm From on it, Friend of Foe 2, Imaginary Player, You Must Love Me, all
Texas usual.
And she just said she's a Hove fan. I'm speaking on Volume 1, and she gives me a reasonable doubt song. Slap yourself. I'm sick of this malarkey. What's up, brother?
Malarkey.
Yeah, I'm sick of this malarkey. That's the sophisticated side. But anyway,
Malarkey.
You know, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be done with it. This status that I put on Jay-Z's birthday is solid. Pause. And
It's
everything
not.
in it was true.
I mean, it's controversial. I think that you really just put the status up to bring attention to your page because you tripping.
No, I wasn't.
You tripping.
First of all,
You tripping.
I don't need attention on my page. Now, if that was the case, I would have posted it on my company page. I need you guys to like my company page on Facebook.
And that would be?
Go on Facebook right now. Open the app.
Right now.
I'll wait 2 seconds.
2 seconds for them to hit
Is it
Facebook.
open? Is it open? Oh yeah, it's open because they're watching the stream. Anyway,
Well, not everyone is
go.
watching the stream. Some people are listening in
That's
via
true.
the
That's
TuneIn Radio app. Some people are listening in via WendyCityUnderground.com.
That's true. All right, log on to Facebook.
Facebook.
All right, bam. You go in the search box.
Search box.
Take 2 seconds to think of who your Facebook crush is.
Oh.
Slide in her DMs, his or her DMs. Send "Hey Big Head" with an emoji. All right, I'm gonna wait 2 seconds and let them do it.
I'm so over you.
All right.
Justin.
All right, when you finish, back up out of that. Go back into search. Yeah. You know how the footwork too, don't you? I know you do. Anyway, go. Stay in the search bar. Type the letter J. Put a hyphen. M as in Mary. O as in orange. R as in red rum, and G as in giraffe. And press search, and then it's going to be a tab for pages, people, and all that stuff, and you'll see this white logo that has J-Morg Entertainment in it. Click on that page, like it, love it. I give away a lot of stuff: movie screening passes, TV show screening passes, concert tickets, food stamps, fruit snacks, all kind of good stuff on there. So definitely follow that. Pay attention, especially tomorrow, because I'm giving away a lot of stuff on there. And then on Instagram, the pages are at J-Morg Entertainment. So all one word, J-M-O-R-G Entertainment. Follow those pages. My personal page is J-Morg for Life, J-M-O-R-G, the number 4, Life. And Twitter is at JMORG_ENT. And yeah, I'll see everybody tomorrow for sure. We're gonna
tell me about this event again tomorrow, because I'm getting a little hype.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
All right. So
just a little bit.
We got the promontory.
You long. By the way, Justin is long-winded as hell.
I can be.
So I need to be the more assertive individual.
You assertive in your life all day, every day. So let me be great.
I'm not.
All right. So you just asked. All right. So we got the promontory tomorrow.
Okay.
7:00. Doors open. We got Marsha Ambrosius coming on stage. 8:00 sharp. We got 2 amazing openers. Wait till y'all see this dude that's on there. His name is Andrew Johnston, and I actually came across him when at the audition. He's actually going to perform at the event I was talking about on Tuesday.
Okay.
This dude is phenomenal, like crazy dope. So he's going to open. Like, I saw him audition. I'm like, yo, I'm putting you. I wasn't even going to have openers on this Marsha event. But I saw this other girl. Her name is Brittany Della Greatness. And, or Gratness. I don't know if she's going to kill me. But she's dope. She got a guitar. She's going to do her thing. She's going to do 5 minutes. They both going to do 5 minutes. It's going to be dope. Kendra G from WGCI is hosting. My big brother Leon Rogers is DJing. A lot of people don't know he's a DJ now, and you should definitely book him for your next event. DM J-Morg Entertainment for information on how to book him. Definitely. And Promontory 7:00. Marsha Ambrosius, hosted by Kendra G. Sounds by Leon Rogers, hosted by J-Morg Entertainment. And yeah. I'm trying to not respond to these texts. Shout out to my sister.
You're trying not to respond to the texts. What the text is saying?
No.
You know you can't lead a show anyway without being my co-host and dropping some ratchery.
No.
But you've been ratchet the entire show, low-key.
No, I just got
I might have to worry about my job still being available after you leave.
Oh, like I'm going to just go to the boss and be like, look, this is what we do.
Walking oxymoron.
Yeah, this is what we do. All right. Y'all need a movie segment because I want to talk movies one day too. Dang. Let me tell y'all about her. I just literally thought about it.
Okay, what are you about to do right now?
Fina said, "Hey yo, J-Morg. I got this radio show." I was like, "Bet. Let me be your first guest."
That is not how it went down. He is
And
lying
then
already.
she said,
He's lying already.
then she said, I was like, "I bet." And then she was like, "All right, cool. I'll let you know when the first day is."
No, that's not how it
That
went
was 17 weeks ago.
That is not how it went down. So this is how it went
Better
down.
late than never, but never late is better.
Okay, so this is how it went down. I had Justin up one night. I'm like, yo, I want to get into the entertainment industry.
And what I say?
I'm thinking about doing XYZ. And I asked him about his experiences, you know what I'm saying, working in the entertainment industry, you know, via iHeart or whatever.
All
so
lies.
This is
all lies.
You're okay.
Okay, I'm recording.
That's fine. You should document this for all of the people who are watching via Facebook Live.
Document
this
is a college word.
So the truth is, I called him one night and I'm like, yo, you know, I want to get into the entertainment industry, entertainment. And I am, you know, looking to do something where it's really just focused on financial literacy, you know, business, money, something separate and completely different than mainstream entertainment. You know, who cares about celebrity gossip? It's cool, but how does that elevate you in your current situation?
It's too much of that.
All in all, I'm like, you know, how's your experiences working on the corporate side? And his suggestion was to start my own blog, to start my own thing, whatever. So I started my own thing.
And I said,
but he did ask in his defense if he could be one of my first guests.
And you said, yes, J-Morg.
And I agree.
Whatever you need.
I did not say that, but I did
agree. I said,
I did agree.
And then I saw her launch the show, and then I was like, what? Anybody else would have gotten shot in the face.
Ooh, he's violent.
You sounded, never mind. Anyway.
But
I'm not going to take up your time.
You weren't the first guest. However, you're now a co-host because people who come on this show are guests. I interview them. I let you co-host the show with me.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. It's the least you can do, okay?
It is the least I can do.
Jesus Christ. But
I'm just trying to be in the building tomorrow, though.
I'll think about it. You could be my first guest. There. And then I'm going to close the door in your face. In his car. I wanted to locate
it's gonna be and drop him in my purse. Like
it's gonna
walk in the door like I'm J-Morg.
Like all BS aside, and I'm not saying this because it's my event, but it's gonna be fun tomorrow. And I hope you can get in, buddy.
All right, he has to go. So on that note, we're gonna hop into the music.
Stop saying hopping into music because that's you gotta pause that.
I have to pause hopping into the music.
Yeah. Because you can't hop. Well,
I can hop a lot of places. We're going to drop some music. Okay. We're going to hear from our sponsors.
That's malarkey. Hop in places. Anyways.
In any case,
thank you guys for listening.
We have William Moorehead in the building. I will be interviewing him shortly after.
Adult film star.
Moorehead, please.
That's where Luke got it from. Hey, Moorehead.
Hey. Okay.
That's the only ratchet you can get from me.
No, absolutely. You know what? How about this? I need you to drop a ratchet fact before you leave this show. Before we hop back into the music.
Pause. A ratchet fact?
Yeah. Ratchet fact or ratchet experience. I need that.
Oh, that I've experienced?
Absolutely.
Ratchet fact?
Drop it.
I eat Flaming Hots.
Who doesn't eat Flaming Hots with cheese?
That's a ratchet snack. Well, yeah. That's a ratchet fact about J-Morg. Ratchet experience, boy. Do you are you ready for today to be your last day on air?
Oh, God.
Seriously, the best, my favorite one, I would definitely tell it. Nobody knows it. I would tell it right now.
So you're dropping a bombshell.
Yeah, but I can't. It's a little too.
Oh, it's too explicit. Well,
yeah.
Guess we got to save that for the podcast.
That I will be the first fucking freaking guest on. But yeah, I definitely tell you that for sure. It'll be a lot of William Moorehead in it.
William Moorehead.
No.
So we're going to hear from our sponsors. We're going to hear a little music. When we come back, I will be interviewing author and performing artist, music artist, and
An adult film star.
I will be interviewing William Moorehead when we return from break. So with no further ado, it has been amazing having you as my co-host today, Justin.
Same here.
High five.
I'm still like low-key mad at you.
You low-key mad.
Yeah, I'm like the 50th guest though, right?
I haven't even had
49.
50 shows yet.
I'm 49 and I feel a type of way about that.
But you're a co-host.
Bruh, it's
You're
not the same.
you're
I was supposed
not.
to be here for the ribbon cutting ceremony, and I wasn't. I gotta get to this movie premiere. I will talk to you later. Okay?
The movie premiere that
I'm
he
sick
isn't
of this
taking.
crap.
He's not taking me. And then
Well,
he
quit
throws
your show. Moorehead, come on over here. Start the show. It's gonna immediately turn into a quiet storm type show.
Quiet Storm.
Yes.
Nothing is ever quiet on this show. You forgot this is SophistiRatchet
No,
Radio.
I'm saying if you gone, ain't SophistiRatchet, SophistiRatchet Radio. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be back. I'm gonna just kaboom on you one day.
All right,
Who validates my party, bro?
kaboom.
And I need to get some tacos. Word to mother.
Tacos. Amazing.
Yeah,
So we're hopping
Moorehead.
into the music. When we're back,
Moorehead,
wet.
when did you get into
William
the
Moorehead.
film industry, the adult film industry?
you're tuned into SophistiRatchet Radio with your host, Dafena, aka the Black Widow. And I have in my studio with me William Moorehead, who is a author, music artist,
I
and
went
just
to school for business.
a
though.
businessman.
Yeah.
So, with no further ado, I want, for all of the listeners, either on Facebook Live or via the TuneIn app or the WindyCityUnderground.com page, I want you to tell them about yourself. I need something longer than the 30-second elevator speech. So, you know what I'm saying? Where you're from, what you do,
Okay.
how you ended up here.
How did I end up here? I am from Chicago, born and raised. The near north area. It's like around Cabrini Green. At one portion of my childhood, I was in Cabrini Green, bad neighborhood, but then I ended up moving in with my grandmother. She took care of me, me and my younger sisters, and I was like moving on up to the east side, like the Jeffersons, and we were in like a house and went on vacations, Catholic schools, and things of that nature. Going off to, I played sports in high school. That's where I know you from. The first time I saw you, you were on the third floor at Lane Tech by D, the exit D, and you were tying your shoes, getting ready to run. You were running track. That was the first time I seen you. But I played sports in high school back in the day, as you did, and I went off to school to study business. I didn't know if I was going to do accounting or finance. I ended up deciding accounting after having conversations with some mentors of mine. And
I'm slitting my wrist now.
why are you doing that?
My background is in public accounting.
Yeah.
Well, public accounting and real estate. That's my baby.
Yeah.
It's my passion. But accounting, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a great resource to have as far as business operations and knowing how to calculate, profit and loss and, gains and things of that sort. But Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And it's a big deal. The accountants and engineers are like the top of most businesses, like all businesses.
They are, and they're paid very well, but they usually don't have work-life balance.
Yes.
And that's why I got out of the industry.
Yeah. I was talking to one of my good friends I knew from Purdue. She is basically having the same issue, wanting the work-life balance, being paid very well, but not being able to, spend time with her friends and family, do the things that she likes to do. It's a big issue. Yeah.
Life is too short. That paycheck, you can't get your time back. Like, you're trading your time for money and like having the money in school. But what's the purpose of having all that money if you can't do anything? Like, you can't vacation, you can't take a break, you can't live life, you can't enjoy your family. I'll pass.
Yeah, I'm on the boat with you because I was on the route to CPA.
Oh God,
interned with some. Yeah. Oh, you were studying? Did you take any of the tests?
No, I was pulling my hair out while I was studying for it. I worked at a few public accounting firms, some very large. Like I've worked for PwC and I've worked for RSM McGladrey, but I was studying for my CPA exam while I was employed in tax during busy season. And it is just not a certification. It's an amazing certification to have, but it is not something that I want to pursue anymore.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I would rather have someone that's an expert in that on my team.
Right.
Yeah, I was with KPMG back in the day, and it's a great internship experience. It's great for
Amazing
young
company.
professionals. Yeah, but having to make that decision on whether you're going to sacrifice all your time, But continuing on, I was at Purdue. I ended up transferring back to Chicago, Chicago State University. I became an alpha at Purdue University, and
First fam.
what's up?
First fam.
Yeah. And
You look like
I do.
an You talk like an alpha.
Really? That's good.
And you're rocking a Hennessy hat that I low-key might snatch before you leave up out of here.
That's it. But yeah, I ended up, and how did I end up writing? I started, of course, I was always good in writing. All of my classes, what I performed best in was writing. But I've never written outside of, you have a grade or you have a class and you have a subject that the teacher or you select in the class. I had a conversation with a woman by the name of Iyanla Vanzant. She has a show on Oprah Winfrey Network entitled Fix My Life. And a lot of people are saying, man, you're doing very well. You're doing very well with your career, your pursuits, your endeavors. But are you focusing on some of your personal issues? And one of them being, mentioned my grandmother took me in being fatherless, being raised without a father. And some of the questions that you have that you told me that you're going to be asking me touches on that. I basically was raised without my father, a lack of him in my life, but it wasn't an excuse for me. I always played sports. There was always some type of male role model that I could pick qualities of which to include in my life.
Exactly. Keep you out the grave and keep you out of jail.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So yeah, but that's a little longer than a 30-second.
It is a little longer than the 30-second elevator speech, and I'm going to hop in there and say that he's a sweetheart because he brought me a cake, and I love sweets. I have the largest sweet tooth, and not only is it just a cake, it is a chocolate, like mint chocolate chip cake. I cannot wait until this show is over so I can devour this cake. So this book that you are authoring in this initiative that you have, I know it's a children's book,
yes,
and I know the name of it is Fire and Water.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a little bit more into the background of how you came up with an idea, or what the idea of what the concept will be for the book,
Mm-hmm.
what your overall mission is for this book, and I mean, do we have an anticipated release date? And you're pulling out a lot of books. I mean, are these the
prototypes? Yeah, they're prototypes of which I wanted to show you, but you can't read them. The reason why is because I just recently had a review and I have rewritten them.
Okay.
Same concept, but I took the feedback from someone that she's graduated from Harvard in education, graduate school, master's in education. And she gave me feedback. She's actually a scientist. She went to school for mechanical engineering undergrad. And she was saying, man, your book is very good. I love the concept. I love the art. I love your business plan, your idea. But we want you to receive as minimal criticism when this product reaches its end customer, because and one of the things that she was mentioning is it's talking about scientific elements. And she was saying that she didn't feel that I included enough scientific terms. The age that I'm catering to, it's the appropriate time to start introducing some big ideas. And so I took time, did some research, continued to take heed to what inspired me to write, and didn't stray far away from that. And what inspired it? Like I said, Iyanla gave me a writing assignment, and I wrote, and it was so therapeutic that I just continued to write. Fire and Water, I used these elements to speak of two women in my past, and what I learned from being in a relationship with these two different women. And it's pretty intense when you know the background. But when you read it and you don't know the background, it's simply a comparison or metaphors of fire and water compared to a friend, simply a friend. So yeah, that's the background behind it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and so anticipation on release.
I want it to be ready by the Christmas of next year. That's what I want, Christmas of next year. So I'm taking the appropriate steps necessary to go into production, then distribution across national and hopefully international borders. So that's what we're looking at, Christmas of next year.
All right, so we have a year in anticipation date, and you're, lining your ducks up in a row and preparing for that. So let's talk about this this life as a performing artist. What do you do? What type of music are you, gearing your audience for?
It's very much hip hop, rap. I have some people that say I'm more of a poet because of the potency or the lyricalness. I don't know, that's included in it. I have a little bit of wordplay, but it's really the content. I like telling stories and bringing, I guess you can say, listeners closer to the ghetto. And what struggles one may deal with while in the ghetto, but not just being from the ghetto, being enlightened, being intelligent mind, sometimes genius, and being from the ghetto. So yeah, that's what I've been performing around the city. I have some studio sessions coming up, and it's something I like to do. It's fun.
Okay, so do you have any actual, outside of the studio, do you have any performances coming up, at any venue?
And I haven't been performing lately. I'm looking to do something around May next year.
Okay.
I don't have any performances set up, but I, on a weekly basis, go to Young Chicago Authors just to stay fresh on my performances. YCA on Tuesdays, they have a writing workshop at 5:00 and then open mic at 7. It's very, you see some of the most talented artists there. Chance the Rapper came out of there. Vic Mensa came out of there as well. But it's a very, it's called it a safe space. It's a good environment for artists to come to network and hone in on their art, their craft.
And what's the name of it again?
Young Chicago Authors.
Chicago Authors. I have to check that out. I mean, I'm not an artist by any means.
No, you're not.
Nah. I don't sing. I might dance a little bit.
You look like you can sing. You can sing a little bit.
I cannot sing. I can crunch the hell out of a number, though. I can sell the hell out of some real estate. Maybe some life insurance, too. But no, I cannot sing.
Yeah, that's funny.
We will set that record straight. So as far as you being poetic, is there a piece that maybe you want to drop?
Okay. Let's see. I knew this. I knew this. I knew this. I knew this chick. I knew this. I knew this. I knew this. I knew this chick. I knew this chick. She had a sis. She drink a fifth, and she get lit. Cause what she did. Her shirt would lit. Could see her tit. Her legs would split, and she would tit. Before she did. Would lick her lip. At who she tit, and who she tit. Also had tit, with hand on hip, with compliment. I knew this. I knew this. I knew this. I knew this chick. I knew this. I knew this. I knew this. I knew this chick. She would leave to her car, then get into her car, looking in the mirror, fixing all the makeup, clear my eyes to tear up. Till when that was because she was leaving her love, just because she would lust, but along with her lust was the desire of having kids to grow up and to be mother of, couldn't do with her love, calling he was a must, he to her was a hub, he was saying with her, you know I hit, because of when I was a kid, he would hit then, punch and choke in, dishes falling, when in kitchen, call listening, to what he did, me and my sis, would have to then, go and attend, church and school, could not forget, and we would live, inside your lens, I knew this, I knew this, I knew this, I knew this chick, I knew this, I knew this, I knew this, I knew this chick, this to me was too much. Seeing him mother, just because he would lust. Like to hit was a must. After hit, he would love. After love, he would lust. She was sexing because living in the fear of living out of luggage, in and out of shelter. Me, my sister, my mother. See, I really do love. Please, why don't you listen? Why you packing luggage? Seeing her, I pull up. I knew this. I knew this. I knew this. I knew this chick. 12 dozen roses.
12 dozen roses? Or is it I knew this chick?
No, 12 dozen roses is who I am. I'm 12 dozen roses. But the song or the poet, the piece is called I Knew This.
I knew this. I knew this chick.
Yeah.
I wish I knew her.
You probably do know her.
So it definitely feels like a spoken word piece.
Yeah.
I'm not really into poetry.
You're not on the poetry scene?
Well, no, not really. I will attend a spoken word performance, but it's not necessarily my go-to on like a Friday or a Saturday night if I'm looking to kind of step out and do
so
something.
What would you do on the Friday, Saturday night?
I don't do anything nowadays. I think my 20s, I partied out enough being a sorority girl.
Yeah, definitely.
There was definitely, an aspect of like my 20s that I probably don't remember.
Don't remember?
I've had a lot of fun in my day, and I'm not even that old. I'm 31. For those who are wondering.
You're 2 years older than me.
Yeah. I'm 31, but my 20s were pretty lit. They were fun, adventurous, action-packed. And I made a lot of, well, not a lot, but I have made some pretty dumb decisions in my 20s.
What's one of them? Care to mention?
Well, I guess I'll care to mention relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Just be involved in situationships with individuals who really just weren't worthy of my time.
That sucks.
But I don't have any regrets. Not from relationships, at least in that sense, because you learn something new every time you date someone. So it just makes you better for the person that is meant to be with you.
Mm-hmm.
But I am dating someone right now
that
I'm feeling. So shout out to him if he's listening.
How long has it been?
That information is undisclosed. But I do have someone who is keeping me interested at the moment.
That's good.
This isn't about me though. This is about you.
Me. I just turned it around on you though.
So yeah, but no, on a Friday or Saturday night, I mean, I'm all for going to an art gallery. I'm into the arts.
You got to see the actual paintings of the illustration.
The illustration of the
Fire and Water
piece that you just.
Oh no, well not.
Fire and Water from your booklet.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'd be totally interested in that.
I might put an event together sooner than later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a lyricist, but I am very good with my words. So I am not, again, opposed to going to a spoken word, but it wouldn't be like my first go-to on a Friday or a Saturday night, but I'm not opposed to it. I would totally go if someone asked.
Okay.
Or if someone mentioned it to me and they're like, hey, grab a ticket. I support everyone's business.
That's good.
Even if they don't support me, I'm just all about supporting because at some point it's going to come back around for you anyway.
Yeah, you just have to have that heart, that spirit.
I do. I have heart. I have spirit.
Be that and you'll attract.
Exposure. It doesn't matter. You can meet anyone, and you really just never know who someone is. It could be just because someone dresses in fancy clothes doesn't necessarily mean that they're the hoorah of the know or the know all be all of whatever it is that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Some individuals are very conservative and very reserved, and those usually be the individuals that you really need to be connected with.
That's how I am really outside of me being an artist. I'm a conservative person. It's what and going the accounting route makes you into.
I guess it depends.
Look at. Picture how you would go to an interview if you were an accountant versus how you would go to an interview if you were a web designer. You know what I mean?
A web designer will be a lot more chill, a lot more relaxed.
Exactly.
It definitely will be probably a lot more. The energy will be a lot more higher. Being an accountant, you're dealing with people's money.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you have to be very detail oriented and assertive in the same sense. But I feel like that's another reason why I felt like accounting probably just really wasn't my stilo. I mean, I can do the work, but do I want to be chained to a desk for 16 hours a day? Do I want to sit there and just crunch numbers all day? And don't let me scare anyone off who wants to be an accountant.
No, you should.
That is not all that accountants do.
It's a good background to have.
It's definitely an amazing background to have because you don't just crunch numbers, but there are so many aspects. You have audit, you have tax, you have the bookkeeping. And I mean, it's great to know, especially if you want to become an entrepreneur and run your own business,
That's what you should know.
How to utilize QuickBooks or how to utilize an Excel spreadsheet and learn how to balance your books, whether it's an income statement or a balance sheet or just financial reporting in general.
And what comes along with becoming an accountant is all the other aspects of marketing the business. You really learn how to strategically plan, target market, and, you really understand business thoroughly. And it's a good skill to have. And most people don't have it, and once you have that, you are definitely an asset,
You're definitely an asset, but what I can say is that accountant personalities are typically, for me, I was a first generation college student. So, my first year at DePaul, I chose, I was undecided, and then I just chose a general business major.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started taking accounting courses, and I was excelling in these accounting classes. And, some of my classmates weren't, but it was like coming as second nature to me. So I was invited out to a NABA event, National
Mm-hmm.
Association of Black Accountants.
Hey.
Shout out to everyone who graduated in the class of 2009 with me, and who were also involved in NABA.
I love NABA.
Yeah, NABA's pretty awesome. But I was invited out to an event, and then I decided to switch my major from undecided to business to accounting.
Mm-hmm.
Switched it to accounting, started taking all these accounting courses. Then I started looking at the salaries that, entry-level accountants make first year out of college. And I'm like, oh, this is totally for me. But I ended up being a double major. I took up a double major because DePaul they piloted a program, a real estate program, when I started there in 2005. So I tacked on real estate in addition to accounting. And I'm glad that I did because the accounting side of me was a more conservative, detail and oriented numbers girl. And then the real estate side is this ambitious, outspoken, having that flexibility to kind of run your own business and do whatever
Mm-hmm.
you want. So I'm glad I got a taste of both. But after, graduating and working in the industry, it's like, I'm really good at this, but I'm miserable because I can't do what I want.
Yeah.
So it was kind of bittersweet because the money was so good, I wasn't going to quit, but I got laid off. And within me getting laid off, I went and got licensed in real estate, and the rest is history pretty much from then. So it's good to have that background. But
Mm-hmm.
I think for kind of touching back onto what you were saying about someone interviewing an accountant, it will be a fairly boring interview. It will be boring opposed to someone who might be like a web designer or a musician or someone else that's in the arts, because, it wouldn't be like, I'm sure going to an interview for Google or Facebook or Netflix
Right.
will be completely different than going for Ernst & Young or KPMG or
Exactly.
PwC.
You can just look at how they're dressed. When I was working at KPMG in that building before they moved to the Aon building. That's the building that they're in now. There was what company was it? I think it was what's the website you can go and purchase things, discounts for a cheaper price? I can't remember what it's called. It's just slipping my mind.
eBay?
No, it's another one. They have discounts. You purchase the discounts. Groupon. That's who it was. I knew it started with a G. But they look completely different. They look completely different. Just how they dress, their work environment is different.
And it depends on what works well for your personality. I mean, you don't know. It's all trial and error, so you don't know until you start.
Mm-hmm.
So, first thing out of college, all I know is that I want a fat paycheck and I went to school for accounting.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm supposed to do. But as you get older, you start to realize that you don't want to just make the money. You know what I'm saying? Well, you actually want to make the money, but you don't want the money to make you.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to have a purpose while you're working. So if I go to work every day, how am I being an asset? What is my purpose?
What's driving you?
How am I, impacting someone's life opposed to my team?
Mm-hmm.
And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that they grind it out and they might work overtime and do certain things, but it's like at the end of the day, what is your purpose on this earth?
Mm-hmm.
Of course you want to provide for your family, you want to provide for your kids, but essentially, what is it what's the legacy that you're leaving behind?
Yeah.
So, for you, are you involved in any community outreach efforts or, maybe connected with individuals who are looking to kind of elevate a lot of the underprivileged areas in the Chicago market?
Well, outside of the organization that I just recently founded, Read with a Child, it's an organization that basically have young professionals or collegiate level students go and partner with a young elementary school student. And what they would do is go through what I went through in making a children's book. One of them will write the book or write a poem, and the partner will illustrate each line of the poem. And they would actually they would finish with actual finished product. And I think the healing and the personal growth that comes from writing and using this art form to touch on experiences that you had, reflection, it brings about a lot of growth. But outside of this organization, I am a part of a Man of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. I recently took on a coaching role. I played basketball, and I wanted to be that same person that my coaches were to me, keeping me off the streets, keeping me something to do. So I'm coaching with the Chicago Demons. It's a basketball organization. And outside of that, of course, I go to church. I'm not saying, of course, some people don't. And I was raised in Detroit.
No shade to the people who don't. I love the Lord.
No shade. No shade to people who don't.
I love 6 pound 8 ounce baby Jesus.
Yeah. And I was raised in the church, and a part of me saying I have to give back to the church. I'm taking classes to become a deacon. And so that's something that is new for me.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And I think a role like that requires a lot of discipline.
Yes.
Again, I love you, 6 pound 8 ounce baby Jesus, but becoming an evangelist is not my calling. I will say that clearly. The name of this show is SophistiRatchet.
Your facial expression on that was priceless.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a part of me. It's a part of me. So I like thinking. I like reflecting. Religion, it's very intriguing to me. It's played a role in my life. So I decided to study a bit. It just served.
You're studying theology?
No, I'm not studying theology. I research, but I'm not going to school or anything for that. I'm taking classes to become a deacon.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then are you planning to become a deacon at the current church that you attend?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You want to disclose that?
I'll leave it.
Understood.
Leave it. Yeah.
Okay. So today's topic that I wanted to kind of touch on was really the social aspects of Chicago. Earlier today with Justin, we really kind of talked about the social scene in Chicago, not necessarily on the club side, but just in general, social events and how people really interact with each other, and how, Chicago as a whole with the residents needs to do a better job at collaborating.
Mm-hmm.
And so for you, I really kind of want to talk about, the top 10 issues facing our youth today. But it's fine because I'll run down that list for you.
Yeah, because you hit me. I was like, man, she said she's going to ask me some questions. It's like 8 hours before.
No, it's not. But
it.
It's more so I just want to get a general idea of, what you think about, some of the issues that our youth face. So, one of the major issues is single parent households.
Mm-hmm.
So you touched on the fact that you grew up in a single parent household, and it was your grandmother that raised you.
Yep.
I, on the other hand, grew up in a 2-parent household. And I think that, my experiences in growing up in a 2-parent household really kind of defined and kind of, made the framework and foundation. Yep. For who I am today, because a lot of individuals really don't have that resource. I didn't have much growing up. My parents weren't rich. They didn't have a lot of money. My mom has a high school education. My dad has 8th grade education. I'm a first generation college student. I grew up on the west side of Chicago in the hood. I've eaten government cheese. I've lived off stamps.
Yeah.
It's not it's always been glorious for me, because that's never really the case. But I think that in Chicago, we have really, and I say this a lot, that Chicago is a tale of two cities. People call us the Windy City. They call us Chirac. And I don't necessarily like to identify with Chirac, but it does speak to the fact that we really are a tale of two cities, where you have our beautiful touristy downtown area, and then you have the blighted areas in Chicago, the ghettos that really get overlooked sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think the importance of, if you are an individual who grew up in a 2-parent household, there are a lot of values that go in with, you know, that you should take home with you. And you know, when you decide to have children, your ultimate goal shouldn't be, well, I'm just going to be a single mom, or like, I mean, I know I've heard of some women who say they aspire to just be a baby mama. Like, why would you want to do that to your child?
Yeah,
why would you want to do that to yourself?
Yeah,
like,
I want to be alone.
like, oh, I just want to be a baby mama. Who aspires to be that? But you know, I think that that's a huge issue that our youth face when they don't have either a mother or a father figure around, because not having a mother around, sometimes with the men, they may grow up and they may be disrespectful to the women that they date.
Yes.
And then on the other end, if you don't have a father growing up, you know, you may grow up and not necessarily know what you need to do to really provide for a household.
And protect.
Right. You might not know the aspects of it. What have you experienced have been disadvantages of growing up in a single parent household? And yours is a special case because you not only didn't grow up with your father, you grew up with your grandmother.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know, the neglect is a big thing. And my grandmother, she's phenomenal. You know, without her, I don't know where I would be. You know, she really changed my life. Like, I was bad in school. I ended up failing 2nd grade because I was just so bad, fights, and I was starting to get into gangs at that age. And she took me out of that environment, that neighborhood school where all the kids from the ghetto were a part of or went to, and she started putting me in Catholic schools, and I slowly started to become because in the public schools that I was at, that I was attending, what was cool was to be the gang and to be the toughest guy and to fight, and that's what I was doing. But then when I went to the Catholic schools, what was cool was to be the smartest, you know, excel in spelling bees and the math competitions, the science competitions. And I didn't want to be a lame, you know, I wanted to be cool. So I began to do well in that environment. But without my grandmother, that wouldn't have been possible. But some of the things that I felt, I had to take anger management classes because it wasn't always a smooth road. It was very rocky at times. I had to take anger management, and I took some at DePaul when I was in grammar school, and that really helped me to, you know, not go crazy when a small issue was at hand. Neglect from your mother not being there. My mother was a drug abuser. My father in and out of jail, and from both sides. And what you miss out on, like you said, the understanding how to provide, knowing how to provide. What role does a father play in the household? How should I treat my younger sisters? How do I treat my mother? One of my younger sisters I played basketball with, you know, she was really tough. She played basketball too, but she got to the point where she started to hit me, you know, and I learned at that age, I would actually be running from her because I knew that if I actually hit her, I would get beat down, you know, I would get beat bad, you know. And so I learned at that age, you know, you're not supposed to hit a woman, you know. So that when I got to college, I had different women that wanted to wrestle and fight and I shut that down, you know, because I learned early on that that's something that
so you're not a play fighter, huh?
Yeah,
you're not a wrestler.
And sometimes
sorry, ladies.
Sometimes it gets out of hand. Sorry,
ladies. He doesn't like to rough. He doesn't like to rough up.
Chill out. That's fighting. That's fighting.
It's Ratchet Radio.
It's Ratchet.
You never know what to expect on the show.
Sorry, ladies. He doesn't want to fight. No fighting, please.
No to the drama. So another one of the issues that I wanted to address, you know, that are facing our youth right now is drug and alcohol abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of individuals who have probably never had a drink. They have never come into any encounters with any type of drugs. But for those individuals that do, I think it's a huge deal. You know, and I think that everyone, whether they're a drug user or not a drug user, or whether they're a drinker or not a drinker, have their opinion on, you know, what they think or how they think drugs and alcohol affect people.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think that, you know, alcohol is legal across the nation, but marijuana isn't. And how many cases have you really heard of where someone has smoked a joint and crashed into a car, or went and murdered someone, or, you know, has done something horrible under an influence? Whereas if you have someone who's drinking alcohol, they're completely incoherent. They can become incapacitated to the point where they don't remember what they were doing at any given moment.
Yeah.
But again, alcohol is legal and marijuana isn't. Now, there are other drugs that you should probably just never do at all. You know, whether it's like heroin or coke or meth. Meth. And I mean, these drugs are addictive, but a lot of children, get addicted to these drugs because they're trying to escape. If they're living in a single parent household and they're not getting the love that they need, sometimes they might want to escape, and their outlet is drugs. And I think that's a huge deal that's really affecting our youth.
I was never, at one point I never would partook in any type of drugs at all. And in high school, once I started partying and things of that nature, I actually started drinking, and I smoked sometimes, but never abuse. And it was never to the point where I would miss class, or I would, it was my family were noticing things affecting me, things of that nature. Never happened.
You were a functional user.
Yes. I was, but I haven't smoked in years now. I drink social gatherings,
I mean, you gotta see the sentence he had that I'm definitely gonna snatch off his head before he leaves.
Yeah, so I drink, but nothing in minimal portions, I guess you can say. But back in college, it was pretty bad. And so, touching on for youth, a lot of things start at home. What's going on in your household. If they're raised in a household, whether it be single or dual parenting, is drinking something that the parents partake in? Is smoking something that the parents partake in? And it's hard for parents to say, don't do this, don't do that. And they actually are doing it. So I think it's important to instill values, make it instill that it is important to continue to excel in education, in your pursuits to become a professional. And when you have your values in place and your educational pursuits in place, sometimes you won't have time to partake in drug and alcohol abuse because of the way it affects you. You get drunk and you hungover, you can't make it to a meeting, you get high, and sometimes you can't function if you, getting crazy high. If you're smoking that good. No, I'm just fine. But yeah, it's a big deal, it's prevalent. And one thing at Lane Tech, it's a lot of Hispanics there, and in my house,
a lot of everything.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I mean, it's one of the most diverse
yes,
high schools that you could ever attend.
And it's pretty big for a high school.
Yeah, it's like a plantation. It's like student body is like 5,000, and they not only do they have high school students now, they have elementary school students. Like
really,
7th
I
and
did
8th
not
grade.
know that.
7th and 8th grade.
Wow.
Through 12.
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Yes.
So,
it's a huge school.
Yeah. And so some of my friends were Hispanic, and in their culture, drinking, you can drink, party at a young age. You go into their household, and they have young teenagers drinking with the parents, dancing, having a good time. So
I guess that would be another topic, because would you rather your child do it with you or do it with someone else?
That's and I think about that all the time.
With children, I wouldn't have them do it, but I mean, sometimes you'll come across like teenagers. They're either going to go out with their friends and do it at the ages of like on prom night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And do it. I think I would rather I have my son or daughter tell me like, hey, mom, I might do X, Y, Z. And I'm like, if you tell them no, sometimes they're going to listen and sometimes they're not. They're going to go against it. But if they decide to go against your will, I would at least say, well, do it where you're safe and
it's
operating a vehicle but you never really know, because I mean, you think about, what's happened with Keisha Jenkins, and she went out with her friends and they were underage. Wow. And they were drinking, and she ended up in someone's freezer.
That's crazy. That is so crazy.
May she rest in peace.
Yes. I think, and I've been thinking about, and what inspired me to write the children's book as well is me thinking about actually having children myself, some of the things that I would like to teach my child. And I have other books that I don't know if I'll actually publish, I'll probably use just within my family. But maybe I thought perhaps I'll have a cousin that played that role. You know, I'm going to be strict. No, you can't do this, you can't do that. But having a cousin or, auntie, someone that could hone in of your age, older than your child, of course, and they look to as someone that they can express what they're actually going through, and to the child, they won't know that this cousin is going to tell me everything that you're doing, you know what I mean? But, you'll have that role. This is the role that you're going to play, cuz you have to be that cousin that my child, when I'm saying, no, you can't do this, he can say, hey, my dad didn't let me do this. He didn't let me do that. My daughter can say that, yeah, I'm thinking about boys, because my cousins, I had cousins, one of which was an AKA, and she was part of the reason why I was like, yeah, the Sigma was talking to me. She's like, you better not become a Sigma. You better not become a Sigma. But she's an AKA, and she was a person that I can come to when I was thinking about sex and when I was thinking about taking drugs, and she played that role. And it's good to have that as family members and mentors and things of that nature. But yeah.
Talking about
Sex.
That's the next topic. Growing up too
really?
fast.
Wow.
Well, no, the next topic that I wanted to address is, one of the issues facing our top 10 issues facing our youth is growing up too fast. So
yeah.
Everything that you see on TV, like sex is portrayed on almost every other commercial.
Mm-hmm.
It's everywhere.
Yes.
You cannot get away
You
from
can't
it.
miss
And
it.
so at this point, it's like you have to start talking to your kids. And I don't even have kids yet, but I do have nieces and nephews, and I do have a goddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you need to start talking to your kids before they get to high school nowadays about sex.
Yeah.
And growing up too fast, because this is all they know. They just know how to be provocative. They want to wear makeup. They want to put on, lipstick. They want to get dead up, and it's like they're not doing it for themselves. They're doing it because people are looking at them as objectifying them as sex symbols.
Yeah. When I first seen, that topic, that question, what do you think about growing up too fast? My first thought was financial. And then after doing some thinking, my second thought was, sex that came up, financial, growing up too fast, as a man and a woman as well, growing up having to, if you are from that poor family, having to take on a job. When I was playing sports in high school, I played baseball, basketball, and football. But my senior year, I said, or my junior year, I was like, I'm just going to play football, focus on football because I want to be able to get a job, and that kept me away from continuing in those other sports. And a lot of times, children, because their family isn't in a good financial position, they want to take on that role of being a provider, and so that's growing up financial. Hey, focus, to children, focus on what makes you happy, get a skill, craft, something that you're good at, and continue to get better at that. Don't let financials be the end all for your decision making. And then with sex, man, one of my friends I met in high school, he went to a public grammar school. I went to a Catholic, and we talked about sex, of course, but we talked about it. You're supposed to get married, things of that nature. I had a girlfriend. She would ask to see. She was a grade higher than me. She would ask to go to the restroom, and I'll see her walking in the hallway, and I'll ask to go. Yeah, can I go in the restroom? And on the stairs, we'd start kissing, whatever. One time, our principal almost caught us, and I jetted up the stairs. I jetted upstairs, and she was left.
On the wild side.
That's how it be. But my friend, he went to a public school, and him and his friends were already having sex. They were in grammar school, 6th, 7th, 8th grade having sex, and I was like, wow, dang, that young. But to each his own. But it's definitely prevalent.
As long as you protect yourself. I guess reasons like that, terrifies me about bringing a child into the world.
And not,
this world is so it's a monster.
When we were speaking about wisdom in one of the classes that I was taking, we were becoming a deacon. One of the attributes or characteristics that you should have is, being being wise. And the reason why I speak of this, kids that have kids at a young age, the chances of that kid being successful it decreases because, well, as human beings, we go through this process where first you're dependent on your parents, and then you learn to not depend on them. Like around the age of going to college, you start taking on responsibilities, financial, whether what have we, and then after that stage, you have to learn again to coexist with another, and that's when you finally find your mate. But when you are at that point, when you get through all those stages, and then you have a child, you and your significant other, or even if you are alone, you are an enlightened being. You're able to make better decisions. You're able to handle different issues better than if you were a 17, 16-year-old. Just having kids at a young age, it brings about a pattern that, my mom had her first child when she was 12. She had me when she was 19, and, none of my younger siblings have any children, but I have a nephew that has a child already, and it's hard on them, Yeah, it's hard on them.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Some of the other issues that, I kind of thought of was like violence in schools, materialism. That's huge. I mean, violence in schools happens everywhere across the nation. I think violence in general is really a huge thing in Chicago. And recently I heard on the news that, Rahm Emanuel is requiring, they just released it, that every cop will now have the body cam, and it will be on their entire shift. And so as far as like the county goes, I heard that the county and the state were kind of opposed to body cams because it's really expensive to, carry all the storage for the video feeds and things of that sort. But I'm like, if the city of Chicago can afford it, why can't the state afford it? And I really felt like it was an excuse to hide the dirty cops.
Yeah, it's a touchy issue. Protection is very important, but when you have people walking around with guns, the decision making is so much different than if they did not have guns, And so, but like you said, violence in the schools is very prevalent, and it starts at home. How are you raising your children up in home? Because that's going to have a huge effect on what they're doing in the schools. How do you stop it? All you can do is mentor. Bringing in a bunch of security. I don't know if that's gonna. I don't know if that's gonna have a huge effect. I know a lot of people were talking about.
May or may not help. A lot of people are really against authority, but I mean.
Yeah. I don't.
It's just scary.
It's touchy. It's touchy.
It's scary, and then you just never know. Like, that bombing that was unsuccessful in New York the other day. Like, I take public transportation when I'm getting around. To come downtown, and it's scary to think that someone on this train could have a bomb strapped to their body and just blow you to bits in a given second as a suicide bomber. Yeah. And it's like, you would hate to have that idea in your head. Like, if you see someone who might fit the usual description of what the suicide bombers might be, like, you find and then you think to yourself, like, does that make me a racist if I look at this person and they fit this profile and I'm scared?
Yeah.
Like, you question like your values, but it's like you're so terrified that, all of these major cities are getting hit, and it's like, when are they coming to Chicago?
When are they coming to Chicago?
Like, I mean, I know we Chirac, but I really don't think like
bombing.
I don't think an AK-47, like, you put an AK-47 against a bomber. I don't really think there's much of a comparison there. But I mean, that's violence in the schools is big, and then you think about like other issues that we face, like obesity and education disparity, like all those schools that are closing in the city of Chicago, or the fact that like we're just a fat nation.
A fat nation.
Like we're obese.
Michelle Obama had a good initiative. What is it called? It's called dance or get up and dance or something like that. I can't remember what it was called, but it was a good initiative to help stop obesity, exercising. And I seen a video of her actually dancing, in it. It was pretty entertaining. But yeah, we have to start organizations that touch on all these different topics, specific. If there's one that really touches you because you may have perhaps gone through it yourself, whether you have been obese or you grew up in a single parent household, or whatever the case may be, maybe that may be reason for you to start that organization and touch on it because you have that experience.
I think for me, like my soft spot, my niche would be financial literacy.
Financial literacy.
Yeah, that's my soft spot, my niche. I mean, I'm not the smallest person, but I'm definitely a lot larger than what I used to be. I was
yeah, I remember.
soaking wet. I was like 135 for a very long time. I'm like 180 right now, but I do hold my weight nice. So, but technically by doctors, I'm obese. But
really,
as an African American
you
woman,
don't look obese.
I'm 5'5", 180. But as an African American woman, I'm nice.
She said I'm nice.
So, we talk about other issues like education disparity, with the schools closing or like a shift in economy, a lot of people being out of work. I think those are major issues that face our youth as well.
A trickling down effect.
You go to school and you're supposed to get a good job and then you can't find a job when you get out.
What would you do if you were a big time Fortune 500 company and you had to make a decision whether to keep a business in the States or outsource it? What would you do?
It depends on what the mission of the company is. So
exactly.
Business operations is business operations. So it's always about, bottom line and your stakeholders, but you also still want to have integrity and remain true to your employees.
Mm-hmm.
So it really depends. If you're a company and you decide to outsource to,
India,
and you have individuals like the customer service reps, if they're outsourced to India, and then you have your clients or these individuals, your customers who purchase products, and then when they call and they have an issue and they're frustrated because the Indian accents are too thick or they just can't really relate, there's a barrier,
mm-hmm.
a cultural barrier gap. I think that overall that would affect your business. Like, you might be looking at the bottom line, like it's cheaper to outsource my business. You could just you can go and talk to a consultant and find a better way to remap everything and put in a different business plan to keep it thriving in the United States. Like, that's the issue in the US right
mm-hmm.
now. We don't want to keep jobs here. Like, we have to think about the middle class. Like, if you're thinking about a corporation, if you're going to outsource, I say have your headquarters here. If you started in the US, have your headquarters here in the US, and then, branch out and franchise maybe and put it in put your company in another country. But I'm really opposed to outsourcing if that's going to be your know-all be-all for cutting the bottom line and trying to, save overall for business operations. It's different case by case.
Mm-hmm. Like you touched on it. What's the mission of your business? Just as you open up a business that may be profit driven, and when we have businesses that are profit driven, the decision most likely will be to outsource if it be cheaper. But if you have a business and their main objective is to have the greatest impact on a specific population, or and they're looking for how effective your business is in providing its product or service, it may bring about different decisions when it comes to outsourcing, because you're not thinking about, I want to have as much profit, so the style of business speaks to the decision on outsourcing as well. But like you said,
that's another issue that's facing out with you too, like the erosion of national pride and identity. I mean, individuals who outsource, that would be a prime example of it. Mm-hmm. And then poverty too. I don't speak about politics on the show as much, but this new tax bill and just the entire cabinet that is in the White House in general, their entire objective is screw the middle class and continue to make these billionaires and these 1%ers, these 2%ers more richer than what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And poverty is a big deal. Like, if you already come from blighted communities, you're just never going to be able to excel, like, given the type of government leadership that we have in place right now.
Yeah, I can't say much about our leaders on a national scale as it pertains to politics. But you know, what I'm receiving is it's not going well. You know, it's not going well. I haven't looked at the books. You know, I can't look at the books, and I can't really speak to what's really going on. But from what I'm receiving, we need to. It is having an effect on the national pride that you said is an issue in our youth today. Do you feel a part of this country? Do you feel that you should be happy with the decisions being made? And whenever you have a leader and they're not liked, it's pretty bad. I don't feel like I didn't receive much feedback at all about Barack Obama being in office. It was always positive.
There was always feedback, though. I mean, and the majority of the feedback was more so based around like racial bias.
Oh,
it wasn't
I remember that.
based around the point that, you know, he's extremely articulate and, you know, he knows who to advise to be our commander in chief and what decisions to make when it comes to war, what decisions to make when it comes to economic stimulus.
His biggest thing was the symbolic representation. Well, for me, everyone was just, oh, we have a black president, and what it meant to have someone that's of another culture, another ethnic background, be a leader, what it spoke to for the minorities growing up in our civilization today. Man, I could actually be president. I could do those things, you know. So I think that was a big thing too. But you know.
Okay. Well, we've ran a little over today.
Yes, we did.
It has been a pleasure to have you in the studio. So for those individuals who are listening in, let them know, you know, your IG handle where they can reach you, Facebook handles where they can reach you if they're interested, you know, when your book is finally released.
Finally.
Where they can contact you.
Facebook, you just type in my name, William Andre, Andre, Moorehead, Moorehead the third. And the same thing for Instagram and Twitter, Will3Shy, WILL, the number 3, CHI. Yeah, and you hit me up, you know, I can give you information on whatever you ask. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you to everyone who has been tuned in via the TuneIn Radio app, WindyCityUnderground.com, and via Facebook Live. You have been tuned into another episode of SophistiRatchet Thursdays with your host, Dafena, aka the Black Widow, and my closing guest appearance by William.
I'm not
Moorehead.
a host.
Your guest appearance. I'm the host for the guest appearance. I had my co-host who left me, J-Morg, who definitely had the energy really high when he was here. But thank you guys for, you know, being a fan and being consistent with listening to me. You're what count the most. Your ratings and, you know, being committed to listening to this show and giving me your ideas and, you know, emailing me and hitting me up and shooting me texts to either want to be on the show or inviting other individuals and referring them to my show. It means a great deal. I just want to make sure that I'm hitting on all the topics that affects you. And, you know, I want to be the voice of the people. If you can't be heard on any other outlet, you can be heard on my outlet. So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode again of SophistiRatchet Radio. And I will see you guys next week.